Hey guys, welcome to Reddit Brew. You know the drill, we're back at it again with the Reddit stories. Just a quick warning, this episode is rated PG and NSFW. So let's jump into it, just like a few of the people in these stories did. Eat a bag of Richards. I was 19 and worked in a nursing home while studying. I didn't have much experience with men and was really shy, and generally didn't think anyone would want me. Cue my supervisor, who was the same age as my dad. He was funny, kind, and acted like I was the most beautiful woman he'd ever seen. Like he'd pinched himself that I'd even look at him. So we flirted, and I asked if he had a girlfriend. He laughed and said he didn't have a girlfriend. Things developed, and of course I fell for him. Went on for a couple of months before I found out that he didn't lie. He didn't have a girlfriend. He had a wife and 6 children. He gave it all, the usual spiel. I don't love her. I stay for the kids. We don't have sex. And I told my idiot self, hey, I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm single. So we carried on for another 18 months. One day, he came to work and announced that his wife was expecting another baby. After that, I cut it off, and rumors started to spread around the workplace. We said nothing. He just avoided me, made me feel like I never existed. And then, every now and then, he would get me alone and flirt with me, hug me, tell me how sexy I was. He would give me just enough hope that I would cling on. Rumors continued, and one day, I got to work and was called into the office, was questioned by my boss, and then the police. Turns out, someone had broken into the safe where our residents' money was kept, and emptied it. Only 3 people had the key to that safe: the manager, the assistant manager, and him. Only, he'd told my boss and the police that it had to be me, because he and I had previously had a conversation discussing how we would steal the safe. This never happened. But from then on, everyone believed him, and I started to get iced out. Gossip, nasty remarks, completely ignoring me. I ended up taking some time off work after overdosing. When I went back, I handed in my resignation, and a month later went backpacking to Australia, where I met my now husband. All's well that ends well, I guess. But here's my revenge. I got parcels mailed to him FAO for attention of his wife, his mother, his boss, and him. Each box was spring-loaded, and when it opened, hundreds of tiny confetti dicks burst out. His wife got a big black chocolate dick that read, "Dear X, eat a dick." His mom got a white chocolate version. His very conservative Christian boss got a chocolate starfish that read, "Eat my ass." And the man himself got a big bag of gummy dicks with a message saying, "I hope they bring more pleasure than his pencil dick ever did." It was petty, it was immature, but it made me smile. Edited to add, I never once said or thought I was right or justified sending things for him to his mom and wife. As I said above, I was petty and immature, and this was a long time ago. And now having a husband and children of my own, of course I see how disgusting my behavior was. ETA 2, for everyone asking why I didn't tell the wife, I actually tried to have a conversation with both my boss and his wife. My boss met with him and then told me it might be time to move on, and his wife believed him and not me. Poor OP and that wife. They were both clearly getting played alongside each other by a sociopathic, immature man. And no, OP shouldn't have roped the wife into it, but I get it. Being a 19-year-old girl that got taken advantage of by a full-grown man was likely humiliating. And the fact that nobody believed her, because everyone probably just chalked her up to being a dumb teenage girl who was lying, was too probably so humiliating for OP. So again, I get it. OP just wanted to watch the world burn, and sending dicks to everyone is a pretty glorious way to do it, in my opinion. Got my roommates to stop having sex sex during quarantine. Full disclosure, this was at the beginning of quarantine for most of the US. I have 2 roommates that are dating. When I first moved in with my original roommate, we were both single guys. We were good friends, and it was a lot cheaper to share a house. About 6 months after we moved in together, he moved his girlfriend in. No problem, she was cool, and we all got along. Flash forward a couple of months, and quarantine hit. I had to work from home. They didn't, but we're still getting paid. To quote r/, they were constantly, passionately hugging, and I have no problem with that. But she was insanely loud. I'm talking Lassie from Porky's loud. I told them they needed to quiet down during work hours, and his exact words were, "We aren't that loud. Quit exaggerating and deal with it." Pertinent to this story is that I'm an IT help desk person, so I was on the phone a lot. One day, while I was on the phone with a client, they started going at it. The client was a young female, and she heard it. She asked me if I was watching porn while helping her. I apologized and told her it was my roommate and his girlfriend. She laughed and said she understood. I finished helping and hung up. End of story. Right. Wouldn't be here if it was. The next day, I get a call from my CTO saying a client complained because I was watching porn while on a support call. I explained the situation to him and he laughed it off. Thank goodness he was a cool boss. I told them about it and he reiterated that she wasn't that loud and suck it up. The revenge. A couple days later on the weekend, they started going at it again. I pulled out my phone and recorded the audio. No, I didn't keep it, so don't ask. The next morning, they were both at the dining room table eating breakfast. I looked him dead in the eye and said, "You aren't that loud?" and played the audio, which was recorded through our air duct. She turned white as a sheet. She apologized profusely, and I haven't heard anything since. Yep, it always helps when they can hear themselves. I'm going to guess that the roommate didn't even mention it to his girlfriend because the banshee noises probably inflated his ego. The mindset was likely, "Screw you and your job, OP. I'm a stud that can make my girlfriend sound like a dying cat." But let's be honest, she was probably just being nice. Dobbed in my cheating high school ex to his parents with beautiful results. Back in high school, I had a long-term boyfriend who I became sexually active with. However, his parents were in ignorant bliss, though I'd always assumed they knew. They came across some suggestive messages and lost the plot. Literally printed them out and came to my house. So both families got involved and they insisted we break up. My family was surprised at their response due to how long we had been together. Over a year at that point, but as adults, agreed it was their choice to make that rule for their son. Their son, however, took this opportunity to continue a secret relationship with me while proclaiming, unbeknownst to me, to be single to everyone else, including other girls. I was blissfully unaware, thinking we were still together, but just couldn't tell his parents, until he slept with one of my classmates a few times and it got back to me. I publicly slapped him. Embarrassing cringe in hindsight, but also called his dad and said calmly, "If you don't think your son should be having sex, you may like to counsel him against sleeping with both me and other girls at the same time. It may result in more than just a slap from the next girl if he also refuses protection with her too." His dad went wild and had 100 questions. Apparently after the family intervention, my ex had convinced his parents we just fooled around and didn't go all the way. So I told him it had been going on for months and he used to sneak me into his bedroom at night too. They took literally every single thing except his mattress out of his bedroom. They also moved their wood pile so he couldn't climb down it to sneak out his window. Our city was a major holder of sports events and he was a huge fan. Would go to every game. The season had just started and he was banned from attending any of them despite having saved up for tickets. He was wasn't allowed to leave his house except for school until the end of the school year. 5 months. No phone, no internet. I only found out because he borrowed a friend's phone to text me and abuse me for shattering his life. I guess it does seem pretty life-shattering at 16/17 years old. Then I dipped town anyway and left the wreckage behind, as my family was moving. Yeah, his parents were clearly overboard about it, but damn, it felt good to take away so much joy after all his lies and the cheating. That was definitely an overboard punishment. I think teens should be given some freedom and trust as long as they're educated about being safe. However, the fact that this punishment happened to a lying, cheating fuckboy makes it okay in my books. I hope those strict parents were diligent in ensuring that their son was celibate for the rest of his teen years. The revenge that keeps on giving. But anyways, that is all from me today. I hope you enjoyed these 3 entitled people petty revenge stories. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe. I truly appreciate when you do, and I will see you in the next Reddit story. Bye!